Hey, lovely. Have you ever said yes to something, even though deep down you knew it wasn't actually helping? Maybe it was giving money, replacing something that had been broken, or allowing something that didn't quite sit right with you. Not because you believed in it, but because saying no felt harder. And as foster carers, this is a real tension because we want children to have everything. We want to make up for what's been missed. We want them to feel safe, provided for, cared for. But sometimes, in trying to give them everything, we unintentionally give them things that don't actually serve them. And I know that this is where the conversation is going to become really uncomfortable because it can look like generosity, but underneath is actually something else. Sometimes it's pressure, sometimes it's fear of conflict, sometimes it's not wanting things to escalate, sometimes it is just the system's expectations on us, and sometimes it's us trying to keep the peace rather than build something better. Because here's the truth, not everything that looks like help is actually helpful. And one of the hardest parts about fostering is learning to tell the difference. So when a child is given money, is it going to be spent in ways that actually benefit them or not? So is it actually provision or is it enabling poor choices and behaviors? When something is broken and it's replaced immediately without any responsibility to the child, is that care or is that removing an opportunity for growth? And I say this gently because this isn't about being harsh. It's not about withholding, but it's about stewardship. It's about teaching respect, not just for belongings, but also for themselves. It's about learning to care for things, ourselves and others. And when we can tie that back into scripture, Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." And that's a part that we're doing in fostering. We're not just providing, but we're teaching stewardship, helping children learn that what they have matters, that choices have an impact, and that provision isn't something to be taken for granted. And when we remove that completely, we don't actually protect the children. We actually delay what they need to learn. And I know this can feel really complicated because sometimes these decisions, they're not fully in our control. Sometimes there are expectations, there are pressures, and there are going to be conversations that you have to navigate around. But even within all of that, there is still a space for you to lead within your home. There's still a way for you to communicate, for how you hold your boundaries. And because boundaries, they aren't about rejection, but they're about guidance, their clarity, their safety. And sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is not to say yes, but instead learning to say, this isn't going to help you right now. In Proverbs 13:24, whoever spares the rod hates the children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. So love, it doesn't just give. Love guides, love teaches, and love prepares. Because enabling poor choices now, it doesn't remove the consequence, it just delays it. And often it just makes it harder and heavier later in life when they have to try and navigate those lessons on their own. And that's not what we want for these children. We want them to grow, to understand, and to build something sustainable for themselves. And that requires so much more than just provision. It requires wisdom from you. So if this episode has made you pause a little bit today, that's okay. This is one of the conversations that we don't often have out loud, but it's a conversation that really does matter. Because you're not just raising children for today, you're shaping who they become tomorrow. And that means sometimes we have to choose what's right over what's easy. And I'd love to just invite you to just like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this message with a fellow foster carer who may be trying to navigate this right now on their fostering journey. And if you're not ready to leave yet, don't worry, we can hang out some more, either watch another video or join us over in our membership today. and I'll see you over there.